Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You know the name X. We're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna discuss some things. We're gonna laugh about some things. We're gonna say some things that we ain't supposed to say, but that's just how things go. There's a lot of things. All right, but today's just about hot takes. Let's see what these hot takes are. Hopefully they're not too OD. It says friendly debate. Let's see what it is, because this is the first one. I guess I'll accept it. Come on. All right, what hot takes are in this kind of work? I mean, we all know what a hot take is. Come on, like be for real. 36 interesting hot takes. Oh, it's more like debatable. Sloths aren't actually cute in real life. Who thinks a sloth is cute? Cats make better companions. Small animals are great pets for small children. Small animals are great pets for small children. Pugs are ugly. I mean, most of these are kind of like, most would have a pet tiger if we would. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. This right here is a weirder take, because I don't think that most people in the world will want a tiger. Now, personally, I would love a tiger because it's not that bad to have a tiger. Like the maintenance and stuff like that, it isn't as bad as people think to have a tiger. Um, you just have to have the money for it. Like once you have the money for it, it's like, oh yeah. Like Mike Tyson, he got a tiger, and I don't think that most people want a tiger. I'm not gonna lie to you. Spiders get a bad reputation. Everybody, what reputation is supposed to be opposite? Spiders are terrible and they're terrifying. Samsung is better than Apple, and a lot of products they are. Nike's the best sports brand. Apple Music is better than. All right, so I am not liking these ones because they're very like not cringy, but just like they're not what I was looking for. How do I go back? How do I go back? I don't know how to go back. I don't know how to go back. Let's re. Can we? What? That way to go back. Escape. Nope. Is product? I don't want to go to product. Let's figure it out. How about I close this out and then I'll redo it there. Okay. Interact. Nah, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Okay, so this is not working how I want it to be. All right, let's Google. Okay, hold on. Let's go to Google defaults. Let's go to defaults. Let's go to Google. Come on, let's get it figured out because I'm feeling old right now. I'm feeling like I just don't know what to do. All right, here we go. Let's go to hot takes in life. Hot takes in life. Let's get it going. All right. Controversy. All right, whatever. We don't care about that. All right. Let's interact. It's interact. Let's interact. I hate that I have to do all this stuff. Let's just go back to something. All right. Let's see. Hot takes. Options for divorce. Yeah, that's funny. That was one of them. All right. Da, 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 da. Let's go to Reddit. Reddit is actually really good. Reddit be having like random stuff. All right, so that's where I should have probably started low key because Reddit just be having. What are hot takes in your life? There are two types of people: those who live freely and those who evade taxes. Personally, you live freely if you evade taxes. No, I don't get that one. Fire is hot, so you should probably only put your hand. So you should probably only put your hand in it once. What? I don't get that. You could do everything right and it could still go wrong. There is one of the many reasons we should treat one another with kindness. All right, bro. All right. Let's search. Let's search. Ask Reddit. Hot takes. I don't know why it's kept locked, but whatever. Yeah. What is your hottest takes? Let's hit these comments, baby. Everyone should be charged equally. Men, women, and even children. whoa, that took a turn. Okay, for that to be the first comment is crazy. Guys rapes a girl to death at 17 and gets away with it because he was a minor. It does happen. Sir, you need to see somebody. That's crazy. Um, Next thing. Most professional sports are boring. Um, that isn't actually too crazy of a take, honestly, because once they get to like the pros, it's like it's cool to watch, but it's still a, at that point it's a business. So because it's a business, it's a little bit less like in person. It's tough because you see the true athleticism of these people and the players and things of that nature. However, like when you're watching it on TV and how like it kind of how you watch them on TV and how we all have off days and bad days and stuff like that. We don't feel like playing or we don't feel like really doing much work at our work job or something like that. They do it as well because that is their job. So they sometimes, sometimes it is a little bit less boring or a little bit more boring to watch. Um, and that's why a lot of people like college sports more than professional because it's like college, they're hungry. There's a certain level of urgency and hunger that comes with trying to make it to professional and then like being at professional. Like when they get to the professional, it's like I'm a millionaire. Like they can fire me today. I've already made $1 million, and a lot of people in the world can't even say they have touched $1 million in their whole lifetime. So the fact that you did it in a year, it's like okay, okay. So like what? Okay, so let's see this. It says McDonald's employees campaigning for 15 an hour was initiated by McDonald's themselves so the public would more easily accept less people behind the counter and ordering from screens. Yeah, you're too deep into the matrix, bro. You're too deep into the matrix. I don't know what you want me to say. Travis Scott is overrated as fuck. Now, personally, I don't like Travis Scott. Like I don't like his music like that. But to say that he's overrated is crazy. Like he does sell records. He does do a lot of things. Oh, and this says I never met a Travis Scott fan. I've met a few. I've met a few in my life, and like I said, he definitely does have the crowd, and he definitely does have his fan base that are very loyal, and he does make some good music for that genre. It's just like it's a difficult thing because it ain't just rap. Like to me, it's like a rock rap. Now I'm not no musical genius or anything like that, but like it's just a more like it's a rock rap basically for me. But no, he's not overrated. I wouldn't say he's overrated. I mean, because what are you rating him towards? Like, is he like a you calling him like an all time great? Because he's not an all time great. He's not like a top 5 rapper of all time. But like he's not bad, and saying that he is bad is kind of low key crazy. But I was told that me thinking people who truly believe being gay is a choice are probably bisexual. Wow, wow, being gay is a choice and are probably bisexual was a hot take. Yeah, I'm gonna move past that because that's kind of crazy. Death penalty for rape. That is low key crazy. But it's not the issue. In theory, that sounds good, but in reality, it's not. And the reason why I'm saying that is because as people, we never really like. There's so much room for human error. There's a lot of people that are behind bars that did not commit the crime that they were convicted of. They just did. They had bad representation, or they got framed really well. Like that's the sad part about it. There's a good amount that are actually innocent in jail, and there's a lot of people that did it that are outside of jail. So it's very like touchy because it's like we convict somebody for rape, they get killed, and then DNA comes back or some other evidence comes back, and it's like, oh, he was innocent, and we took somebody's life. and there's nothing that can be even done or gone about it. It's like it's a touchy subject and it's definitely difficult. Like I agree to some sense, but because of human error and because of the fact that like we live in reality and it's not just like a theory in a sense. You just gotta toss it. Suicide is inherent human right, and if anyone genuinely wants to end their life, they shouldn't be stopped from doing so. No, no, no. I think if anybody is at the point in their life where they're just like, yo, I'm thinking about killing myself, I think that you like you have so much more to live for. Like I understand where you're coming from, where it's like nobody is there for me, nobody cares about me, nobody thinks that I'm even worth it, and you're going through a very struggling or tough time. But that never should excuse the fact that you are a person and that your life does matter, and you know like that is not something that happens, and it happens. And it's been a lot of times where I've seen cases where like somebody attempts to kill themselves, but in the middle of it they regret it, but at some point it's basically too late, so they have to basically die with them not really wanting to. Like I've seen stories where, or I'm gonna say stories. I knew there was somebody, not personally, but I knew the story of in Norristown where I'm from. Guy jumped off a bridge, and when he jumped off the bridge, halfway through, he no longer wanted to kill himself. Now, do I know how they knew that? No, not even close. But they said that he didn't want to kill himself anymore. But because he jumped off a bridge, once he hit that water, his legs broke. And when his legs broke, you can't swim in a river with your legs broke. So he basically drowned, not really wanting to die and making a very split decision and more of just like a rash decision just cause. So yeah, no, like suicide is never an option. And if somebody really does need the help, or if somebody really does that really wants to commit suicide, or you are at that point that you really want to commit suicide, just get help, bro. Like you matter more than the situation. You matter more than what's going on. Like it ain't like you're a person and you matter. And like I think that sometimes gets forgotten in this world. Like we are all in this together, and that we all matter to somebody, even if that somebody makes it very difficult to believe. So no, bro, like that's no. It shouldn't be a human right, and that's no. Death penalty for human animal abusers. I mean, honestly, and this is something I'm gonna just go towards just because it seems like death penalty keeps popping up. Death penalty is not something that should be used as a way of freely. It should not be used freely. Death penalty should not be used freely. It's something that should matter. It should be used for certain crimes, as in like death, as in like multiples in a sense. Like I would say, like if it's a um, serial rapist, like serial rapist is probably the least murdering type of thing where it's like yeah that deserves the death penalty, because there's certain things that no matter how much therapy and how much you work it out and how long you're in jail or how long that you are doing the right thing, quote unquote, certain things are never going to get taken out of people, and it's messed up, but certain stuff just can't get out of people. But like an animal abuser, it's like it's not right. It's not right. It's not right in a sense, but like for somebody to lose their entire life over it, um, yeah, it seems like a very extensive thing for that aspect. People who are anti-cop should be very pro-gun. Yeah, I don't like that one. Or not. I just don't. I don't really understand it in a sense. Legalize. Yes. Yes, this guy knows what he's talking about. Legalize polygamy, polyandry. I mean, granted, yes, it will be easier to afford a mortgage, but I think that they should legalize, honestly, like three people getting married, because if those three people do want to get married, why not? Like, we are in a society where we're allowing people to be classified as whatever they want to, whether it be a he, she, they, them, he, she, they, them, her, him. I think I'm right with that. But we live in a world where like you can be whatever you want to, but you're telling me you can't be whatever you want to with two people. Like I think because that we've allowed gay marriage, we've allowed for people to transition over and go into different bathrooms. Like this is not too far of a step over. That it's just like, yeah, why not let three people get married? It is what it is at this point. Like y'all not stop at least in like because at least in America, it's like we're not stopping anything. Like we're not like we haven't like got to the point where it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna not go like nah. Like we've egged it on to where lines and things that we are already that we didn't think would get passed in the 70s or 80s are already getting broken. So now at this point, it's kind of like, yo, why not let three people get married? We live in the day and age of everybody having a side piece or a side chick, having people join the relationships, and it's not as uncommon for that to happen or for people to have that conversation. So we're not too far off from just all right. You know what? I have two wives, or on the flip side, I have two husbands. Now, all power to them in certain situations, especially with the two men. All power to them. Um, all power to you. But like, yeah, no, it's definitely something I believe that should be legalized if we're gonna like, and he or she, whoever it is, delete it. It would make mortgage so much easier financially. Oh my god, like bills, things have just been skyrocketing. And if you have a three-bedroom home, everybody gets their own bedroom, and y'all are in love or whatever. Like y'all can all have your own space. It works out in the long run. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Most democratic countries, women have outvoted men for over half a century. Stop blaming men for everything. Oh, I don't know much about politics, so I'm gonna stay away from that because I am not the smartest with that. Making the killing of wildlife as your annual hobby is pretty disappointing. Um, um, See, I don't hunt, but I don't see an issue with it because it has its benefits. Like, yes, it is definitely wrong for people to kill animals because it is another life. You're taking a life, basically. You're for my non-religious or for my religious people, you're playing God in a sense because you're taking His will into your own hands and making something of it. However, on the counter aspect, without hunting, there is a lot more overbreeding or overpopulating of animals that will mess up other things in the ecosystem. Because at this point, hunting has helped a little bit. I'm not saying it's the best because people have overdone it, like how rhinos are going extinct because they go for their horn, how elephants are going extinct because they go for their tusk, um, how pandas are basically extinct, how I believe tigers are going extinct. It's like so many of the zoo animals are going extinct because everybody's trying to hunt them for certain things. And I don't believe that that is the right thing. But if we're hunting let's say I don't know, like, and I'm not saying deer, because deer is a pretty common one because they're not overpopulated, but they are a little bit. From my understanding, I could be wrong, but from my understanding, a little bit overpopulated. So hunting down deer ain't too wild. Um, but I think there needs to be a little bit more of like I want to say gauge. I want to use the word gauge. Like it needs to be a little bit less hunting, but the fact that it's over, like to where it's like to say disappointing is like it depends. Like as I'm saying, like hunters contribute almost all money that goes to conservation while stimulating stinging. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it basically like kind of like manages wildlife population. Like, do people go over the limits? Yeah, people are always gonna push lines. People are always gonna go too much. That's just in our nature. Everybody knows that. Everybody's doing that with daily, regular life that they have going on at their own job. So a hunter, they're gonna do the same thing because they find enjoyment in it. I mean, and who are we to judge somebody because of something that they enjoy? Like, yeah, it's not the greatest for them in the aspect of taking another life, but there's certain things that other people enjoy that they look at it as like a wild thing. Like most, I ain't say most, but enough people drink. You're drinking poison. Certain people are just like, why would I drink poison? That I can't look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's the greatest. Certain people are into some type of drug, like whether it be smoking or anything of that nature. And it's like, why would I do that to my body? Why would I destroy my body from the inside? There's certain people that just eat and just eat and eat, and they don't actually get out and do anything, and they sit there and they kind of destroy their body as well. And somebody else could be looking at like, why would I ever do that? Why would I destroy my body like that? And did it? So it's like we all have our different hobbies and we have our different things that we enjoy. But like judging somebody or saying something's disappointing or that when there isn't just a true one-sided negative towards it, it's a little judgmental, but I understand. Yes, I'm willing to die on this hill. McDonald's sausage McGriddle is the best breakfast fast food. Nothing touches it. Nothing touches it. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If you go to McDonald's and get anything besides a McGriddle, and possibly, and I'm gonna say possibly, because you know if you go to the McGriddle enough, sometimes you just like lay it off. I'm saying I need a little bit of switch up. The McBiscuit with a sausage, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're valid. You're valid, and I'm gonna say that again. You're valid. Now I don't go to McDonald's often. It's very unhealthy. But peak, I did. I did go there in the mornings before school, get that little sausage McGriddle with a hash brown or two, because that joint was popping. It hit, it hit, and the thing about it is, everybody else breakfast don't even be hitting the same. The only people that I could say that actually have a like, all right. So Wendy's has a decent breakfast. They have this little breakfast breakfast biscuit thing where it got like honey in that joint. That was surprisingly good, but it ain't touching a McGriddle. McGriddle is like the number one. Like, bro, you can't like, nah, nothing can touch the McGriddle. Nothing, nothing. Like it, McGriddles is that. Like McGriddles changed the game. I ain't even gonna lie to you. McGriddles changed the game. They changed the whole breakfast industry. Like, what? For a good couple years, McDonald's was just pushing McGriddles, and they was just making money off of that. They didn't even have to sell Big Macs. Like, come on, everybody was coming for that McDonald's breakfast. They didn't sell it. They sold it all day, every day, just because everybody knew they wanted a McGriddle at 11 p.m. at night. Like, McGriddles is always going to slap. And the thing about it is, they egg don't. You can keep the egg, Mickey D's, but like, no, like McGriddle was definitely top tier. Like, no, like there's nothing that touches it. Like, and if you get like I said, if you get anything else really breakfast wise from McDonald's besides maybe a biscuit, you're snapping. You're snapping. And if you think any other place has a better breakfast than them fast food wise, you're snapping. You are snapping. Because nah. Because who else really got Chick-fil-A? First of all, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really eat from Chick-fil-A. They lines be too long for me to actually sit in that joint. People be waiting for that. First of all, and I don't know what the obsession is with Chick-fil-A is, and this is kind of go off on a tangent, but I don't know what the obsession is with Chick-fil-A. Why is everybody so obsessed with Chick-fil-A? Like, I get it, it's chicken, but like, bro, it be lines out the door, down the block, around the corner. It look like a Black Friday sale on a Monday morning. Like, bro, go somewhere else. Like, why are you late to work because you wanted a chicken sandwich? Like, bro, do something with your life. Because it ain't like Chick-fil-A was slow. Because, my pleasure. Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you, my pleasure. Like, no, they was never, they quick. They quick, too. So it's not, like, bro, I don't know what be going on or what the chokehold everybody have for Chick-fil-A. But, yeah, no. But, like I said, and I'm going to repeat it one more time for the people in the backpack. You know, the people that just get it. McDonald's sausage McGriddle is the best breakfast food, and that is stamped and certified. And if you think anything else, you are oblivious to the world, to life. You know, you need to be checked and tested because there's something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. All right, let's see. Oh, that's the end of this part of hot takes. All right, let's see if there's another. Let me go back. Let's go back. What's your hot take? Let's go here. What's your hot take? Whoa. All right. Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. That's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna go into the second part, but we need to bring back duels. I think that would be actually kind of fun. Bringing back duels, I feel like would bring a certain level of animosity that we need in the world. Like, I think that duels, and I ain't saying like, first of all, because most of y'all can't wield no sword. I don't even know where to get a sword anymore. Actually, no, you can get one from Walmart, but it's from Walmart. Like, how great is it really going to be? But I think that bringing back duels, like, you know, with the white glove smacking in the mitts, I think that it would be pretty chill. You know, the fencing Jones, or even like with the sword, I think that it'd be great because I think it's less violent than what we're doing now. Nowadays, especially with these YNs, bro, everybody losing their life. Everybody dying. Like, everything is just like, chitty chitty bang bang, niggas gonna die. Like, why we always gotta die? Like, why can't we just, like, have a disagreement, get into a little scuffle, and just everybody go home bruised up? Everybody gotta go home in a body bag? Why moms gotta cry? Why sisters gotta cry? Why brothers gotta cry? Because you had an argument. Like, duels bring a certain level of channeled anger. So I think that would be sturdy. And it brings back a certain level of honor among thieves and honor among criminals. Because I don't think nowadays people as criminals have honor between each other. Like, back in the day, and I'm not saying it because, like, I was really in this joint back in the day. Like, you know, I'm 24 years old. How much back in the day could I really get? But from how I've seen things as a kid, from how the stories I've heard when I was from older people, and from how things are portrayed in both documentaries, movies, and things of that nature, it was a certain level of honor between each other because it was like everybody had a certain level of fear that, like, bro, he can really beat me up or she could really kill me, and nobody's gonna care, and they may get away with it. So let me not really mess with them. I think nowadays people think they ain't gonna do nothing to me. I wish they would. You see that camera right there? You see this phone right here? You see that person right there? You see all these type of things? I think that it brung back a certain, I think it adds a certain level of, what's up, Cam? I think it brings a certain, like I said, I don't think it has a certain level of honor between everybody. Legalized weed, this is 4 years ago, so obviously they legalized weed. I'm not going to touch the prostitution conversation. But get rid of daylight savings. I can see what you mean, but I can't in a sense because having it where it was dark in the day until probably like 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning because it's technically the morning, and then it just being light until 8 p.m. It's kind of weird. It's really weird. Like people need the sun up in the morning to kind of get up and get their day going. Without the sun, it's kind of like very difficult. It's just very like, I don't know. But probably a pretty common hot take. But mental illness is not an excuse for shitty behavior. Yeah, I like that take. I like that take. Because I'm going to say it again just so that people can really hear that. Mental illness is not an excuse for shitty behavior. It's an explanation, but you are responsible for how you treat others and act. Yes. Like I understand you're a little crazy. Yeah, you can be a little crazy because we all got a little bit of crazy in us. But that don't excuse the fact that like you still a human. You have a certain level of decency. You have a certain level of intelligence. You have a certain level of like you can be nice. Like being nice is not something that like is learned. Or I mean, let's say because it is learned. It's definitely learned, but it's not something that is hard to learn. Like being a nice person is something that children do, toddlers do, babies do, just naturally. Like and you just using a mental illness. Oh, I'm this, that, or the third. Nah, bro. Because for every person that says, "Oh, I'm this because of that," there's somebody that said, "Oh, I became this because of that," and it's the same that. So let's hold the accountability. Like let's have the accountability because we're only limiting ourselves by saying that as an excuse. We're only limiting ourselves by saying that. Like by saying, "Oh my God, like I have this going on with me," and even when it comes to like learning disabilities, not to say that like it's not a disability because it is a disability, and it can hold you back from certain things. But as we all grow up and become adults, which I don't know if we are. If you're on my page, I hope that you are adult because I do not need children here really. Um, and I'm not gonna talk about children topics. I'm not out here talking about Cocomelon and all that nonsense. But bro, when we get older, we don't care. We care about if the job got done or if it didn't. We care about if you're nice to me or you're not. We care about different things and everything besides it got done, I'm being helpful and I'm doing it is an excuse. Yeah, you crazy, but woman down in the hall, her mom's a crackhead and she became the VP. So she made her struggle a driving force to why she became something. So yeah, nah, like that is not like like that was a great take. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that is something that where I feel like people need to start taking a little bit more accountability for them in themselves. Because yeah, like you like after a certain point, everything is basically an excuse. Because after a certain point, you only have yourself to really hold accountable. And I'm kind of going off on a tangent when it even comes to people saying, "Oh, well, I can't really be nice. Like my parents weren't really nice to me, or oh, I can't really learn because my parents didn't." Da, 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 da. You're 25. You're 28. You're 33. Like, what do you expect? Like after a certain point, it's up to you. Like it really is. So you have to do what's best for you, and like yeah, this boy keeps calling me. Like yeah, you got to do what's best for you, and you got to do. I mean, say what do what's best for you, but you have to like basically hold yourself accountable for what you got going on, and yeah, like yeah, no. Last time I responded to such a cue, I got timed out for a week. Won't fall for it again. What? Shame you had to run into one of these type of minds. The problem with the U.S. education don't come primarily from the supply side, such as maybe inadequate teachers or schools. That come from the demand side, specifically students and parents not truly caring about learning as long as to the maximum limit of what's possible to make our nation's kids smart. In the absence of them and their families genuinely caring about achieving the results, regardless of grades. All right. So from what I gather is that is basically saying that they're saying that the educational system is not bad teachers. The curriculum or schools is coming from parents and parents and students not caring enough to be smart as long as they get a good grade. That's all they care about is the grade. And I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But if you keep up, you'll know what's going on, Carlos. I'm not like, and stop calling my phone while you see, like, well, you see I'm literally on stream. Like, you literally see I'm on stream. Stop calling my phone. But when it comes to teachers in the educational system, I think that it isn't just about the kids not caring and the parents not caring as well. I think that there is a bigger factor besides that. I think that does play a role. I think that everybody in America a lot of times does care about the grade aspect. They don't really care about learning as much anymore. But I also think that kind of shifted and changed because of the curriculum. I think the curriculum has stayed the same for so long, and it's failed us as I think that it's failed us as a society because the world has evolved, but the education that we're learning hasn't. And not only has it not evolved or even progressed, I think that it has took a step back or even a shift down. Because realistically, and this is shout out to, I forget the guy, but he made videos back in the day. I don't know if he still makes them, but he basically talked about how the difference between how the world looked in the 80s compared to 2010s. The cars look different. The houses look different. Society looks different. But the classroom looks the same. The only difference is instead of a whiteboard, it's a smart board. Instead of being a dry erase marker, it's a projector. And we're not even really learning new things. We are learning the same old history, and maybe we'll learn a new way to do the math and have a different formula for it, but it's the same math. Not to say that we don't need it, but kids nowadays aren't learning cursive. They learn how to be on technology, but why can't they learn cursive? Who gonna sign the checks? Like, we are creating and developing a certain type of mindset where we rely on other things that we shouldn't. There's a different study or a different like case where a guy just graduated from high school and he said, I passed my senior year and I never did anything. AI did all my classwork. So what did he get and gather from that? Okay, yeah, I don't really have to try in this world. I just got to make sure I know who's going to do it for me. And it's good that he passed, but it sucks for how much he didn't learn. And it sucks because of the lesson that he learned from that. Like, the teachers are using AI and so are the students. So what do we like? It's just a let's cheat to get by. And this is why America as it all is looked upon as a stupid or dumber type of nation, because we don't take the time to sit back and really take that evaluation of ourselves to like, well, we really need to lock in. And we need to lock in. And I'm speaking from my experience, from what I see, from what I've gathered, like from hearing other people talk, because I think that it ain't going to change. It ain't going to change until we all make that change. And I mean, as a society, like, teachers have probably one of the most important jobs that there are in our society, and they get paid one of the worst. Like, yeah, they've increased the pay, but like, no reason. There's no reason why a factory worker should be making more than a teacher. Now that may be a hot take that like people don't like or don't agree, but a factory worker, yeah, he has a very stressful job and physical manual labor, but a teacher is teaching the next generation. A factory worker is getting replaced by a robot and an AI. Like, we are prioritizing certain things that we don't need to prioritize. A car salesman makes more money than a teacher. He's just selling cars. A salesman makes more than an insurance salesman makes more than a teacher. Now, granted, I understand these are sales jobs, and it goes by you going out and doing things, but why are we devaluing the importance of our teachers? Like, anybody that is going through America has had a teacher. Anybody that's going anywhere in life, and like every single person in this world has had a teacher, has gone to school. So, and we all have had a favorite teacher, not because, oh, they were the nicest to me. It's because they cared about me and they showed interest in me and they wanted to help me more than just what was going on in that classroom. So, and like I said, I'm going off on a different tangent, but like, no, the teachers need to be paid more. Like, is to be 100% frank. Like, that's where the money needs to go at. And I think that the curriculum needs to change a little bit more as well, because the parents don't care as much anymore. But it's hard to care about something that doesn't even show it should be cared about. Like, we don't make educational changes for the better. We still teaching about Abraham Lincoln and what he did, and that's it. Like, in Black History Month, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, I went to a public school, bro. I learned about the same thing basically from 5th grade to 12th grade year, about the same people, what they did in Black History Month. It's more people than just Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. It's more than that. But we don't care about that in America, and we don't value that in America. That's not what's taught. It's not. And this is where we start to lose hope and value, because it's like, y'all keep telling me the same thing. Y'all keep teaching me the same thing. And if you want a real good education, at least in America, you got to go to a private school. You got to go to a charter school. You have to pay all this money to get that great education, to where it's like, not everybody got the money. And it creates the difference that much more. And that's why people don't care, because it's like, bro, they don't even care about us to really care if we ain't got it. Not everybody got it for real. Not everybody can easily just come up with stuff, like come up with money. Money is not something that is easily come by for a lot of people, and we are punishing them and their next generation of children for something that the children didn't even do. Now, that's a little bit more extensive and trying to go further into deep with it, but public education isn't that great. They barely teach. Like I said, I didn't learn home ec class. I don't know how to cook. Well, I know now, but I didn't know how to cook in high school. I didn't know how to clean dishes, do laundry, do my taxes. None of that stuff. Y'all are teaching me things to stay in school, but y'all are not teaching me things to be an adult. Y'all are not teaching me things to become a successful person. So if y'all not teaching me to be a successful person, and you're just teaching me to remember facts, and you're teaching me to just remember what you said, and remember what's in this book, and remember what that person did, and not teaching me how to be somebody to be even remembered, then I lose the care. And if I'm a parent that's working 2-3 jobs and going through hell with my boss, with these kids, with these bill collectors, and my son or daughter is just not doing the greatest, and they don't care, it's hard for me to make them care, because I barely got the energy to care about myself in my own free time. Life is hard for a lot of people in this world, and we can't just dwindle on it like, oh yeah, like this. Nah. So I agree with this take a little bit in the fact that like the educational system, I think that parents and students need to care a little bit more about the learning aspect and less about the grade. Because I think that we do get caught up on grades, but I think that it is not as simple as just those are the leading factors. I think the leading factor, at least for me, is curriculum. Um, yeah, like I said, I think it's curriculum, but it's not a bad take. It's not a bad take. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm probably gonna do like one or two more takes. An unborn fetus is not more important than the woman carrying it, and it should be nobody's business other than hers. An unborn fetus is not more important than the woman carrying it, and it should not. I'm not gonna get into that because I'm not gonna get canceled. Modern suburby is the greatest ways of resources. Okay. Mine is mumble rap. Juice. Uh, oh. Okay. Mm. Okay. I mean, I understand it. I mean, they're probably a little bit older. Like, mumble rap is definitely not a great type of music. And it hasn't really stayed the test of time because even right now, it is it's weird because there isn't any really up and coming rappers right now that are really taking over the game that didn't have a complete fall off. And it's sad because even Juice WRLD was a great rapper, but he died. XXX was a great rapper, he died. Um, and I won't say XXX was actually a mumble rapper, but there are a lot of baby this, baby that, this, that. Like there was a certain period where everybody had baby in their name, and that was their name. And even Polo G, he fell off. He didn't die, but he fell off. Lil Baby, he kind of fell off. The Baby kind of fell off, and it was never like a little bit of like a passing of the torch. Like there really isn't much of a passing of the torch right now, because right now it's like Drake is still dropping music, being number one in music right now. Kendrick, even though he's a little bit older, he's dropping music and he's still in number one. Little Wayne, or not Little Wayne, because Little Wayne's last album was garbage. Garbage. Kanye West, when he dropped his album, I think I want to say like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the Donda album, that shot to the rock. Like it shot rock because it was number one. And it's a lot of the older rappers that kind of are keeping it around. Like J. Cole, when he dropped his one album, it stayed around. Travis Scott is still relevant, and I know I said I trashed him a little bit, saying like he's not my like cup of tea, but it's like he's still staying around. Tyler the Creator, like they're still staying around even past this like 30, 31 age. But in previous, once a rapper got to like 31, 32, they just seemed corny because they were older in comparison to before. Like Nelly, he was cool until like 2005, and he started getting older, and it's like, yeah, let's get to Drake, let's get to Lil Wayne, let's listen to Kanye. Even Eminem kind of like phased out because he got older, and it was just like that's where the other people kind of took that step. Like, and right now there isn't a true up and coming rapper. Like I ain't gonna, cause it like the rapper that I could say that is the most notable right now for me in my mind is Zeddy. But Zeddy's a halfway streamer, and he makes TikTok songs where they're catchy and they tough, but it ain't really much of bar for bar. And it's just trying to get the hook, make the hook tough. It ain't really much of like, oh yeah, he's spitting, he's saying that stuff. So I understand why they don't like it, and I understand why older generations are like, oh, this mumble rap is trash and it's not the same. it sounds it's more so focused on the sound aspect than what are they actually saying. And nobody's took the throne like from the older guys. They really haven't. And this is one of those things where it's not even necessarily just in music, it's across the board in professionalism. The NBA, the young bulls haven't took the stardom from the older generation. Football, Patrick Mahomes kind of took it, but Aaron Rodgers is still relevant, and Tom Brady still played because he could have been. He was more relevant. Like, and the only reason why, and this is not to say it like that, but the only reason why Lamar Jackson is now being talked about, um, Josh Allen is getting talked about more. It's because Rodgers and Brady were 40 years old. When Brady retired, everybody was just like, all right, whatever. Like, but Brady was still talked about more than Lamar, Josh Allen, all that stuff, and that was like 2 years ago. Brady was 40. Like, he was 40. So it's like the passing of the torch is getting extended to a longer or later age than before, and a lot of the younger generation ain't just coming up and snatching it and is hungry. Like I said, like LeBron's still the face of the league. Curry's still face of the league for NBA. Football, Patrick Mahomes is the face of the league right now. But it's because everybody else had to retire to the point where it's like, all right, well, we need to find somebody at this point. It wasn't really took, and it was kind of just, all right, who's left, you know? Um, and like I said, right now it's going the same thing with the rapping industry. Like, Drake is 36, 37 years old. He about to be 40 years old. And he still is dropping music, and it's like everybody's listening and waiting and stuff like that. It's like when Jay-Z was 35, 36 years old, he was dropping music, but it wasn't the same. Like when he dropped the 444 album, it was a tough album, but it wasn't number one charting. Everybody was looking for other stuff. It was like, oh snap, Jay dropped. That's tough. Let me listen to that joint real quick. All right, cool, 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 cool. But it was other stuff to listen to and that people cared about. So I get it, and that's always gonna be a thing. Like it's always gonna be a thing that people are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna rap this and da da da. Like even for the next generation, when it comes to their music, people gonna complain about it. But it's just gonna be what it is during time. Like it's just how it goes. But thank you to everybody that did watch. Thank you, Carlos, for tuning in, being my one chat person for the draw, and I'll always appreciate it for that. But this is Hot Take Tuesday. I'll probably come back to Reddit next time because it seems like they got more hotter takes. Because Twitter be wilding, or X be wilding, and I couldn't really put that on stream because I didn't know what was expected. But yeah, this is Hot Take Tuesday. Peace.